Most people don't fail because they're lazy. They fail because they're scared. Scared of judgment. Scared of being told they're not good enough. Scared of hearing one word that feels like rejection. No, in America, no is considered information. In Japan, no can feel like a lifetime label, and this single difference quietly decides who takes risks, who stays safe, and who builds empires. Think about that for a second. How many opportunities did you lose not because you couldn't do it, but because you were afraid of what people would think if you tried? Here's the uncomfortable truth most people never hear. Two of the most powerful economies in the world, America and Japan, treat risk in completely opposite ways. One rewards it, the other punishes it. And before you get emotional or defensive, listen carefully. This is not about which country is better. This is about how systems shape human behavior, and how those systems quietly program your mindset without you realizing it. Because the real question is not which country is right. The real question is, which mindset are you living with right now? Let's talk about the real problem. People don't struggle because they lack talent. They struggle because they grow up in environments that teach them one dangerous lesson. Don't mess up. From childhood, most people are trained to avoid mistakes. Good grades, good behavior, good reputation, do what's expected. Stay inside the lines. But here's the paradox. Every major breakthrough in history came from someone who stepped outside the lines. So why don't more people do it? Because in many cultures, including Japan, failure isn't just an event. It's an identity. In Japan, society values harmony, precision, responsibility, and collective reputation. Those are beautiful values. They create discipline, quality, and consistency. But they also create fear. Fear of standing out. Fear of embarrassment. Fear of being the one who disrupted balance. In Japan, if you fail publicly, people don't just see the failure. They remember it. It follows you. Your resume remembers it. Your colleagues remember it. Your family feels it. Now ask yourself, honestly, if you knew one mistake could permanently damage your reputation, would you take risks? Probably not. Now let's flip the picture. In America, failure is almost casual. You can fail a business, then start another, then fail again. And people don't ask, what's wrong with you? They ask, what did you learn? Isn't that crazy? In America, failure is treated like training. In Japan, it's treated like shame. That difference alone explains why one economy produces aggressive entrepreneurs and the other produces world-class perfectionists. Now let's talk about the word that changes everything. No. In America, saying no is normal, expected, respected. An American will say, no, I don't want that job. No, that salary isn't enough. No, I disagree. No, this doesn't work for me. And no one collapses. But in Japan, saying no directly can feel rude, disrespectful, even dangerous. So instead of no, people say, let's think about it. That may be difficult. We'll consider it. Why? Because harmony matters more than honesty. But here's the hidden cost. When people can't say no, they say yes to things they hate. They stay in jobs they don't want. They follow paths they didn't choose. They live lives that look successful but feel empty. Now ask yourself this uncomfortable question. How many times have you said yes just to avoid discomfort? How many times have you stayed silent even when you disagreed? That's not politeness. That's fear disguised as respect. Now let's connect this to risk. In America, risk is celebrated. If you quit a stable job to start a business, people say, wow, that's bold. In Japan, people say, why would you throw away stability? In America, ambition is loud. In Japan, ambition is quiet. In America, people talk about dreams openly. In Japan, people keep them private. Neither is wrong, but one creates more economic explosions. Let's talk about real life. Imagine a 25-year-old in America. He hates his job. He has an idea. It might fail. What does society tell him? Try. Worst case, you'll learn something. You can always start again. Now imagine a 25-year-old in Japan with the same idea, Society tells him, be careful, don't embarrass yourself. What if you fail? What will people think? Same talent, same idea, completely different pressure. Now let's talk about why this matters to you, because you don't need to live in Japan to have a Japanese mindset. And you don't need to live in America to have an American mindset. Most people carry the fear-based system inside their head. They punish themselves before the world ever does. They imagine rejection before it happens. They imagine embarrassment before trying. They imagine failure before starting. So they stay stuck. Let me tell you a story. There's a famous concept in Silicon Valley called fail fast. It means this. The faster you fail, the faster you learn. The faster you learn, the faster you win. Now imagine saying this in Japan. It sounds insane. Fail fast. Why fail at all? But that mindset created companies like Google, Apple, Tesla, Amazon. Most of these companies failed internally hundreds of times before succeeding publicly. Now ask yourself, how many ideas have you killed inside your head without even testing them? That's the real tragedy. Now let's talk about respect. In Japan, respect is earned by not causing problems. In America, respect is earned by taking initiative. In Japan, standing out can be dangerous. In America, standing out is the goal. That's why American culture produces loud personalities, bold startups, aggressive negotiations. That's also why Americans are comfortable saying no, because in America, boundaries are strength. Saying no means you value your time, your energy, your self-respect. Now let me ask you something personal. When someone asks you for something you don't want to do, what do you feel first? Guilt, fear, pressure, or confidence? That answer tells you everything about your mindset. Because people who can say no can take risks. People who can't say no stay safe. Now let's be honest. Japan didn't fail. Japan chose stability. It chose long-term employment, loyalty, precision, perfection. That's why Japanese products are trusted worldwide. But the cost was innovation speed. America chose chaos, high risk, high reward, high failure, high ego. That's why American companies dominate new industries, different values, different outcomes. Now the most important part. You don't need to choose one country. You need to choose what you borrow. Borrow Japan's discipline. Borrow America's courage. Borrow Japan's patience. Borrow America's boldness. But remove one thing completely, fear of failure. Because fear is the real economy killer. Fear keeps you quiet. Fear keeps you obedient. Fear keeps you average. And average is the most expensive lifestyle. Now here's a reality check. Nobody remembers your failures as much as you think. People are too busy worrying about their own lives. That presentation you messed up, they forgot. That idea you think sounded stupid, they moved on. But you're still punishing yourself. Why? Because your brain is wired to avoid pain, even imaginary pain. Now let's flip the script. What if rejection wasn't rejection? What if no wasn't humiliation? What if failure wasn't proof of weakness but proof of courage? Ask yourself this tonight. If embarrassment didn't exist, what would you try? That question alone can change your life. Now here's the lesson you can actually apply. Start practicing small no's. Say no to things that drain you. Say no to paths you didn't choose. Say no without explaining yourself. Because every no builds self-respect. And self-respect builds confidence. And confidence makes risk possible. Next, reframe failure. Instead of asking, what if I fail? Ask, what if I learn faster than everyone else? Because the world doesn't reward perfection anymore. It rewards speed, adaptability, and courage. Now think about this deeply. Most people admire American success, but live with Japanese fear. They want freedom, but choose safety. They want growth, but avoid discomfort. You can't have both. Growth demands discomfort every single time. So here's the ending truth nobody tells you. The economy doesn't decide your future. Culture doesn't decide your future. Your mindset does. If you punish yourself for trying, you'll never try. If you forgive yourself for failing, you'll keep moving. And the people who keep moving always win. So let me ask you honestly, no filters. Do you punish yourself for mistakes? Or do you use them? Are you living to protect your image or to build your life? And one last question, answer this in the comments if you're brave. What is one risk you've been avoiding because you're afraid of hearing no? Because the moment you stop fearing no is the moment your life finally starts moving forward.